Among our tribe of goblins, spider riders are an important part of the tribe's defenses. Most are warriors that train wolf spiders as mounts, but the elite have the ability to call a phased spirit that takes the form of a spider and serves them faithfully. Today's hero is one such goblin. Hi everyone, and welcome to a stealthy episode of
The Dungeon Crashers.
I'm Guy.
And I'm Zapeel. Before we get started, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our exciting D&D content. The last build, we used a bugbear, so for this build, we are going to be using a goblin. They are humanoid, small size, with a walking speed of 30 feet. They get dark vision out to 60 feet, and they have Fey ancestry, giving them advantage on saving throws he makes to avoid or end the charm condition on himself. They also get Fury of the Small. When he damages a creature with an attack or a spell, and the creature's size is larger than his, he can cause the attack or spell to deal extra damage to the creature. The extra damage equals his proficiency bonus, and he can use this trait a number of times equal to his proficiency bonus, regaining all expended uses when he finishes a long rest. And he can use it no more than once per turn. He gets Nimble Escape. He can take the Disengage or Hide action as a bonus action on each of his turns. Last, for languages, he gets Common and one other of your choice, and so we went with Goblin. Our Goblin hero has always liked being in the woods. He would rather make friends with animals than other of his kind. So, for the background, we'll be using the Outlander background, but we're going to be changing it just a little bit. It gives 2 skills, Perception and Survival, 1 tool proficiency, and we went with Cartographer's tools, and 1 language of our choice, and we went with Infernal. The main feature of this background is Wanderer. He has an excellent memory for maps and geography and can always recall the general layout of terrain, settlements, and other features around him. In addition, he can find food and fresh water for himself and up to 5 other people each day, provided that the land offers berries, small game, water, and so forth. For ability scores, goblins get 3+1 ability boost. They can put on any ability but no more than 2 on the same ability. Using the point buy system, we put an 8 on strength. He is small and very agile. We put a 14 on dexterity, making it 16 with +2 from the racial bonuses. He's going to have rogue levels, so this needs to be high. Next, we put a 14 on constitution. He might be small, but his many years living in the woods has made him very hardy. We put a 10 on intelligence. He's not book smart at all, but we didn't want a negative here. We put a 15 on wisdom, making it 16 with the last racial bonus. This will be our casting stat for our ranger levels, plus he will have a few wisdom-based skills. And last, we put a 10 on charisma. He has spent most of his life alone, so he doesn't know how to interact with other people. At first level, he takes first level of rogue. He is proficient with light armor, simple weapons, hand crossbows, short swords and long swords, rapiers, and thieves' tools. He also gets dexterity and intelligence saves. He gets 4 skills from the rogue list, and he takes Deception, Insight, Investigation, and Stealth. He can expertise 2 skills he has, so he picks Perception and Stealth. He gets Sneak Attack, and once per turn, he can deal an extra 1d6 to a creature he hits with an attack if he has advantage on the attack roll. The attack must use a finesse or ranged weapon. He doesn't need advantage on the attack roll if another enemy of the target is within 5 feet of it, the enemy isn't incapacitated, and he doesn't have disadvantage on the attack roll. Last, he gets Thieves' Cant. It is a secret mix of dialect, jargon, and code that allows you to hide messages in seemingly normal conversation. Only another creature that knows Thieves' Cant can understand such messages. At second level, he takes first level of Ranger. He gets 1 skill from the Ranger list, and we went with Animal Handling. Tasha's Rangers get the Favored Foe ability. A number of times per day equal to his proficiency modifier, he can mark 1 foe, and for 1 minute, his attacks on that foe deal an extra 1d4 damage. But this only applies once per turn. When he gets spellcasting, this will be inferior to Hunter's Mark, but it doesn't require a spell slot, and the damage it proves at higher levels, becoming a d6 at 6th level and a d8 at 14th level.
One day, a group of humans made their way through the woods to the Caves of Chaos, where the rest of the tribe lives. Our hero kept his distance, not knowing if they are friends or foes. They spoke the goblin tongue, and after meeting with the chieftain, he allowed them to set up camp inside the caves. That didn't matter to our hero. If they stayed out of his business, he didn't have a problem with them. The chieftain seemed quite taken with them and the gold they brought, so he mustered up his forces for the impending battles. At third level, he takes second level ranger. He gets a fighting style and he takes archery, giving him a +2 bonus to attack rolls with a ranged weapon. Rangers get spellcasting. They start with 2 spells known and 2 first-level spell slots. He's going to take Hunter's Mark for some extra damage, and absorb elements for a great defensive reaction spell. At 4th level, he takes 3rd level of Ranger. He gets his Ranger Conclave, and he takes Beastmaster. Instead of the normal Ranger Companion found in the player's handbook, he will be using the Primal Companion from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. There are 3 types: Beast of the Land, Beast of the Sea, and Beast of the Sky, and he'll be using the Beast of the Land. There are stat blocks for these companions in the Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Now it says that the companion is medium size, and since he is small size, he can ride it. Also, it doesn't say what the animal looks like, so we're making his look like a giant spider. He also gets Primal Awareness. He will get spells as you level up in Ranger. At 3rd level Ranger, he gets Speak with Animals. It doesn't count against his spells known, and he can cast it once without expending a spell slot, but once he casts it in this way, he can't do so again until he finishes a long rest. Speaking of spells, he gets another spell known and another 1st level spell slot. Cure Wounds or Goodberry would both be great choices. Our hero was out training with his new giant spider companion when he came across 2 women in the woods. They had dark skin and horns. They looked like demons to him, and they were making their way to the Caves of Chaos. He decided to follow them just in case they attacked the tribe. They seemed strong. They defeated a band of kobolds and took what little treasure they had. They had only been there a day when they left. He thought they might come back, so he was extra careful when out by himself in the woods. Turns out he was right. They did return, but this time with 2 more members. They are just as strong as the first 2, if not stronger, and this time they did attack the tribe. The warriors fought back, holding off the demon women, long enough for the women and children to flee. Many lives were lost, but the invaders seemed to be looking for the humans that the chieftain made a deal with. Once the women and children had made their escape, the warriors retreated, leaving the humans to fend for themselves. Once the fighting was over and the invaders had taken what treasure they could find, the tribe returned to the village. The chieftain was making an uproar about some artifact that was stolen, and it needed to be retrieved at all costs. Since our hero was a spider rider and had great stealth, he was chosen, along with the chieftain's son and a few others, to sneak into the town and steal the artifact back, while the main force raided the keep. Our hero didn't mind. This would be a great opportunity to see how well he and his giant spider companion would work together. At 5th level, he takes 4th level Ranger. He gets an ability booster feat, and he's going to use it to boost his dexterity to 18. This will help with his archery and dexterity skills. The raid goes off without a hitch. With the loud noise of fighting and the fire spreading, it would be a great distraction to let our hero and the others sneak into the town. One of his companions was a woman that the wise women of the tribe had sent to accompany them. She has a raven familiar she used to track down where those demon women were staying and where the artifact might be kept. After seeing the demon women leave to join the defenders, our hero and the wise woman climbed the building and entered through a window. She knew right away where the artifact was and went to retrieve it. Our hero and the rest of the warband ransacked the inn and then made a quick escape. They almost got caught by one of the demon women, but a group of bugbears blocked her path, allowing them to escape. At 6th level, he takes 5th level Ranger, getting extra attack. Now he can attack twice instead of once when taking the attack action. For spells, he gets another spell known and another 1st level spell slot, and 2 2nd level spell slots. For the spell known, he takes Magic Weapon, making his weapon magical and adding +1 to his attack and damage rolls. This will help out a ton. From Primal Awareness, he gets the spell Beast Sense added to his spells known, and can cast it once without expending a spell slot, and he must finish a long rest before he can use it this way again.
The chieftain's son said they were taking the artifact to the hill giant's steading to be sold, and the warband was to stay together until that was accomplished. There were a few fights along the way. One fight was exceptionally brutal. There was an ogre and 7 orcs. The chieftain's son and the other warrior fought the ogre while the rest of the warband handled the orcs. Our hero rode around the battle on his giant spider, firing arrows at the orcs, taking one down before the wise woman went into a feral rage and started tearing them to pieces. After the fighting was over, they held her down and shook her to get her to come back to her senses. At 7th level, he takes 2nd level of Rogue. He gets Cunning Action, allowing him to dash, disengage, or hide as a bonus action. The warband finally makes it to the hill giant's steading. There was no warm welcome here at all. The hill giant had no interest in the artifact and was raving about the army the humans had promised him. Our hero decides to keep watch, knowing the demon woman would be following them to get back the artifact. At 8th level, he takes 3rd level of Rogue. He gets his roguish archetype, and he takes Inquisitive. The first ability he gets is Eye for Detail. He can use his bonus action to make a perception check to spot a hidden creature or object, or to make an investigation check to uncover or decipher clues. The second ability is Eye for Deceit. Whenever he makes an insight check to determine if a creature is lying, treat a roll of 7 or lower on a d20 as an 8. The last ability he gets from Inquisitive is Insightful Fighting. As a bonus action, he makes an insight check against a creature he can see that isn't incapacitated, contested by the creature's deception check. If he succeeds, he can use his sneak attack against the target, even if he doesn't have advantage on the attack roll, but not if he has a disadvantage on it. This benefit lasts for 1 minute or until he successfully uses this feature again on a different target. There is an optional ability at this level called Steady Aim. As a bonus action, he gives himself advantage on the next attack roll on the current turn. He can use this bonus action only if he hasn't moved during this turn, and after he uses this bonus action, his speed is 0 until the end of the current turn. Also, his sneak attack dice improve here to 2d6. It was in the middle of the night when the demon women made their move on the steading. They moved quickly and quietly. Our hero was impressed on how stealthy they were, but he was much better. He made his way back to the warband and told the chieftain's son the demon women were here. They decided it was time for them to leave and go north to the Jarl of the Frost Giants to deliver the artifact. While our hero had been on watch, the rest of the warband had stolen supplies from their ungracious host. Our hero smiled to himself, thinking, maybe this party is worth getting to know. At 9th level, he takes 4th level of Rogue, getting an ability booster of feat, and he's going to take the Sharpshooter feat. Attacking at long range doesn't impose disadvantage on your ranged weapon attack rolls. Your ranged weapon attacks ignore half and 3/4 cover. And before you make an attack with a ranged weapon that you are proficient with, you can choose to take a -5 penalty to the attack roll. If that attack hits, you add a +10 to the attack's damage. He has to be careful when using this feat. Using it against someone with a high armor class wouldn't be a good idea. At 10th level, he takes 6th level of Ranger. His favorite foe dice increase to a d6. And from Deft Explorer, he gets Roving. His move increases by 5 feet, and he gains a climbing and swimming speed equal to his walking speed. At 11th level, he takes 7th level of Ranger. From Beastmaster, he gets Exceptional Training. On any of his turns, when his beast companion doesn't attack, he can use a bonus action to command the beast to take the dash, disengage, or help action on its turn. In addition, the beast's attacks now count as magical for the purpose of overcoming resistance and immunity to non-magical attacks and damage. He also gets another spell known and another 2nd level spell slot. Healing Spirit or Lesser Restoration would be great choices here. At 12th level, he takes 8th level of Ranger, getting an ability booster of feat, and he's going to cap his dexterity at 20. He also gets Land Stride. Moving through non-magical difficult terrain costs him no extra movement. He can also pass through non-magical plants without being slowed by them and without taking damage from them if they have thorns, spines, or other similar hazards. In addition, he has advantage on saving throws against plants that are magically created or manipulated to impede movement, such as those created by the Entangled spell. At 13th level, he takes 5th level of Rogue. He gets Uncanny Dodge. When an attacker that he can see hits him with an attack, he can use his reaction to half of the attack's damage against him. Also, his sneak attack dice improve to 3d6 at this level. And at 14th level, he takes 6th level of Rogue. He can expertise 2 more skills that he hasn't already, and he picks Investigation and Thieves' Tools.
It didn't take our hero long to figure out he and his giant spider companion didn't like the cold. He was shivering constantly, and it was hard for him to aim his bow. Luckily, they made it to the Frost Giants without too much trouble. The Jarl's welcome here was much better than the Hill Giants' chief. He paid them well for the artifact, and gave them lodging so they could rest and warm their cold bodies. They stayed in the home of the Frost Giants for several weeks and planned on returning home when the demon women attacked. They had gotten stronger and smarter than before. They used hit-and-run tactics to whittle down the Frost Giants' numbers. The wise woman wanted to stay and fight, but the chieftain's son was against it. They were to take their wealth and return home now that their mission was accomplished. Our hero would be happy to get out of this cold environment and back to his warm woods. The Jarl of the Frost Giants had a request for them. Since he would be delayed fighting back these demon women, the warband was to take the artifact to the Fire Giant King. It was very important that he got it before it's too late. The Jarl has a magic portal that would take the warband to a volcano where the Fire Giant King's hall is. Our hero didn't care. Getting out of the cold is all that mattered to him. At 15th level, he takes 7th level Rogue, getting Evasion. When he is subjected to an effect that allows him to make a dexterity saving throw to take only half damage, he instead takes no damage if he succeeds, and only half damage if he fails. His sneak attack dice improve here to 4d6. At 16th level, he takes 8th level Rogue, getting an ability booster feat, and he's going to use it to boost his Wisdom to 18. This will help his spells out, but most importantly, it will help with his insight and perception checks. At 17th level, he takes 9th level Ranger. From Primal Awareness, he gets the spell Speak with Plants. It's added to his spells known, but it doesn't count against the spells he knows. He can also cast it once without spending a spell slot, and he can't use it in this way again until he finishes Long Rest. For his spells, he gets another spell known, and 2 third-level spell slots. Lightning Arrow is one of the better choices at this level. Upon arriving at the Fire Giant King's Hall, they received a warm welcome. Our hero took this time to rest his tired body and warm up. The Fire Giant's king pulled the wise woman aside and had a long conversation with her. She returned to the warband, saying that the demon women had defeated the Jarl and were on their way here. The warband is to take the artifact to a drow matron in the Underdark. From what our hero knew, the drow revered spiders, and he was looking forward to showing off his giant spider companion. After receiving some magical weapons and a pass that will allow him to get past the drow guards, the warband makes haste to the drow city. At 18th level, he takes 10th level Ranger. Instead of the Hide in Plain Sight ability from the player's handbook, Tasha's Rangers get the Nature's Veil ability. As a bonus action, he can magically become invisible along with any equipment he is wearing or carrying until the start of his next turn. He can use this feature a number of times equal to his proficiency bonus, and he regains all expended uses when he finishes a long rest. Our hero has been in and out of caves his whole life, but nothing could prepare him for this. On the way to the Drow City, they encountered a nest of illithids. They are nasty creatures that mess with your mind. Our hero fired arrow after arrow, using lightning arrow and even taking less aim to do more damage. His giant spider even got into the fight, hitting a few times. It was a long, bloody battle, but in the end the warband prevailed, and after a short rest they continued their trek to the Drow City. At 19th level, he takes 11th level Ranger. From Beastmaster, he gets Bestial Fury. When he commands his beast companion to take the attack action, the beast can make 2 attacks, or it can take the multi-attack action if it has that. He also gets another spell known and another 3rd level spell slot. He doesn't have any area of effect attacks, so he will take Conjure Barrage. Finally, reaching the Drow City, they take the artifact to the Drow Matron. She receives them well and accepts the artifact, but tells them that the Fire Giant King has been slain and their plans have fallen apart. She rewards them for bringing her the artifact and will provide them with quarters until they're ready to leave. The Drow Matron was cold to the males in the warband, only opening up to the wise woman. The male guards seem to be in awe of our hero's giant spider companion and ask him questions about how he managed to tame one. They had been in the Drow City for only a few days when trouble happened. The demon women had tracked them down and were fighting in the Drow Matron's chambers. By this time, our hero knew that they needed to get out of here, but their exit was blocked by the demon women. The wise woman in the warband returned with the artifact and said the Drow Matron told her there was a shrine that held a portal to the demoness Loth. Since it was their only chance to escape, they made their way to the shrine and further into the abyss.
Last, at 20th level, he takes 12th level of Ranger, getting an ability boost or a feat. Since his stats look good already, he takes the Lucky feat. He will have 3 luck points. Whenever he makes an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw, he can spend 1 luck point to roll an additional d20. He can choose to spend one of his luck points after he rolls the dice, but before the outcome is determined. He chooses which of the d20s is used for the attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. He can also spend 1 luck point when an attack is made against him, roll the d20, and choose whether the attack uses the attacker's roll or his. This character would be so much fun to play just from a roleplay standpoint. Being a goblin, riding a giant spider everywhere you go, would be a great way to start a roleplay encounter. He also has some good fighting ability with 2 attacks, 4d6 sneak attack with insightful fighting, and spells like Lightning Arrow, Conjure Barrage, and Hunter's Mark, plus the Sharpshooter feat. He can do some good damage. He does have a good armor class and hit points, but he wants to stay out of melee combat if it can't be helped. If you like this build, please let us know in the comments section below, along with any questions or build requests. Join us next week when we build the 3rd member of the Goblin Raiding Party, the Shape-Shifting Hermit. Until next time, cheers!